magical place on earth is Walt Disney World, and it's the perfect setting for the most competitive and action-packed volleyball tournament in the country, where hundreds of the world's best young players are here to claim championships. Welcome to the 43rd AAU Junior National Volleyball Championship. Inside the HP Fieldhouse is going to be center stage for these 43rd AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. This is most certainly the place to be during the summer. OVA TBVA takes on Performance Elite to get it started in the 14 Open Championship. As we welcome you inside our state-of-the-art studio, great to have you with us, everybody. Drew Felios alongside the former UCF star Aaron Campbell. And Aaron, you've been around this tournament your entire life. Still, you come here year after year, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and you know, all these girls are playing about 20 tournaments since January, and this is definitely the most important because it's a national championship, but it's definitely the largest by scale with all these venues that they're playing in, so it's a huge tournament and a great turnout for all these girls. So
much talent, so many great teams we're going to see throughout the week. We got a heck of a matchup, though, in the 14-year-old age group, as you see OVA TBVA out of the Southeast, and then from the Midwest, Mizuno Performance Elite, doing what they usually do here this time of year.
Yeah, and these are teams we see in probably every single division. OVA, TBVA has such a reputation of success, and Performance Elite is one of those teams that is always competitive.
And a lot of these names have become household names over the past few years. They start very young, from 12 years old. Names like McKissock and Gunter and Conley. This team is talented.
Yeah, and these are names we see on the ticker tape every year because they have such a good sound set of fundamentals.
Mizuno Sports Performance team always has tremendous size and power, Aaron.
Absolutely, and they have this Olympic mindset. So they train volleyball, but they also train what I call the intangibles, the mental game. They all show up in the same outfit. They all show up with the same mentality, the same look on their face. So they're a very tough, competitive team.
Every team is outstanding. Every team is well coached that comes here to the ESPN Wide World of Sports. But Aaron, the teams that win championships do what the best?
I think what they do best is that they simply just play the fundamentals. The game is a roller coaster, from emotions to fans to music to everything. The best thing that you can do to stay consistent throughout this tournament is stick to your fundamentals.
It's going to be a busy week here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. We get it started in just a few minutes. 14 Open Championships around the corner from the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
When you run Disney, every mile is magic. Marathon and half-marathon races through the Disney theme parks are waiting for you at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Resort in California. Known for courses lined with Disney entertainment and the best finisher medalers around, Run Disney events are a must-do for veteran runners and newcomers alike. For more information, visit rundisney.com. Go the distance with Disney and the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Florida by training or competing in one of the many track and field events hosted here annually. From Disney Track and Field Spring Training to the Walt Disney World Cross Country Classic to Disney Track and Field Showcase. Get ready for your season or get noticed by any of the numerous college recruiters in attendance. Check out DisneyTrackandField.com for more information.
How's the training going?
Just about to get underway here in the 14 Open Championship. It's going to be a long and very busy day here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Drew Felios and Aaron Campbell. You see Sports Performance Volleyball on the right. They'll be wearing the red. And then on the left, the team from Tampa and Orlando combined. And should be a tremendous match here to start. What should just be an awesome day. Let's take a look at some of the rules we're going to be following here in this AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships. Best 2 out of 3 sets. First couple sets played at 25, and then after that, we'll go to set number 3. It will go to 15 points. And of course, we go by rally scoring is his standard now in youth and college volleyball. So the Southeast taking the Midwest, and as far as styles, Aaron, year in and year out, would you say the Southeast maybe a little bit more on speed? Midwest goes usually by size standard?
You know, I think that there's truth to that. I always see the Midwestern teams, they are a little bit taller, but they're a more fundamental Olympic kind of mindset where they train like the Olympic teams. When you look at the Florida teams, because they have the access to the beach game, they tend to be a little bit more creative. So it'll be an interesting battle to see, okay, we're going to have one team that's very powerful on offense with sports performance, and then we have one team that's probably going to be tricky and scrappy, and you'll see that from the OVA, TBVA side.
And we're underway. Mizuno Sports Performance, that big front line. And there's the first point of the match, and it's awarded to Lillian Gunter with the kill. She wears number 10.
And not the biggest girl on the court, but what she did there was she read that the block wasn't as strong as they led to be. They're tall, but they are vulnerable, and she just used the hands very well there.
Sierra Jenkins serving for OVA TBVA. They'll rely on their defense primarily here today. A little mix-up on that return. Mizuno Sports Performance now goes to the left side, and they'll get Kate Long going.
And that's the perfect shot. This is a 14-year-old swinging what we call a Division I or a D1 line shot. Watch her go up. Her shoulders are facing inside the court. At the last second, she uses that thumb to push that ball right down the line.
Team from Florida tries to answer. And that's a bad pass. Taylor Landfair could not catch up to it, so 2-1 here in the early going. This HP Fieldhouse, one of 3 large venues hosting volleyball this week. Also got the Johnson Center next door, which is just jam-packed with teams. As many as 8 games going on at one time. Then, Aaron, you've also got the Orlando Convention Center, and that's just an entirely different beast.
It's a sea of courts, hundreds and hundreds of courts, and you just see one ball going up, one ball going down. Balls going on every court, refs blowing whistles. It's really a spectacle to see.
That's a nice kill right there by Taylor Landfair. So, Aaron, when you're playing in that atmosphere compared to this atmosphere, this much more controlled, over there so many games going on, as a player, does it affect you?
I think so, and I think that because you're so used to that, this might actually be the anomaly, where you're playing on center court, where everybody's looking at you, eyes are all on you. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to this environment versus the one that they were playing on throughout this whole tournament.
Shot long by Landfair. And it's an early 4-2 advantage. There's Elizabeth McKissock. She was just outstanding last year here in this tournament. So athletic. Landfair taps it over. Jenkins puts it up. Dug nicely on the back row for Landfair again. She's got that big swing up front.
And really, I've been waiting for her to kind of unload on the ball. What OVA, TBVA has done really well is they've served this sports performance team really tough. But when they get a perfect pass, this is exactly what's going to happen. She's going to have the shot that she wants through the seam of the block, go straight down for the kill.
Kept alive now and put over by Conley. Landfair, she's getting a lot of swings here in the open of this match. You can tell OVA TBVA knows it's coming, but that block is out of bounds.
And great blocking series by OVA TBVA, and I think that their size is a little bit, it's causing Landfair to kind of get a little bit confused. But watch this tool. That left hand is facing outside the court. If she drops that pinky down to face inside the court, that block would have gone straight down.
Another point for Mizuno Sports Performance. These teams have played that very long club volleyball season, Aaron. We're coming down to the wire now. This is always a fun time of year if you're playing this sport.
Absolutely, and there's just so many different teams that you see in this tournament than you see in the regional games and anything like that. So it's really an opportunity for you to play great competition and get better yourself.
Another point for Mizuno Sports Performance. Say get better for yourself also. An opportunity to get spotted by colleges that are sending their representatives to watch some of this great talent. Would you say this is where the best players get spotted by major universities?
I would say that. You know, there's a lot of tournaments that are regional, so a lot of coaches will go to those, but this is the most compacted amount of volleyball where coaches can see all the players that they have on their list in one place. And plus, who doesn't want to come to Disney, right?
It doesn't hurt. Emily No checks into the game for OVA TBVA. She'll head back to serve. Dug nicely. It's a good job by Monson, who got on the court. Now from the right side, that southpaw swing goes down, and there's Sierra Jenkins making her presence felt.
And Sierra Jenkins also serves as the setter, so she's been able to watch what this block does on every single rotation versus her hitters on that right side. So really smart swing to go high and utilize the vulnerable hands on the block.
Big time swing there. Tried to be tracked down by Monson, but she just ran out of room.
And that right side for Sports Performance actually seems to be the most vulnerable side of the court. So if OVA, TBVA can keep swinging on that ball, they're going to get a lot of points attacking that right side.
7-6, team from the southeast with a 1-point lead. That one's going down. Another point for OVA, TBVA, and now they've opened up a 2-point lead.
And great discipline by Melissa Verti on that left side. She stayed with the ball the whole time. It's easy for players to want to come off and transition to think, hey, I'm going to get that swing. But she stayed at the front row and just waited until the ball came over the net.
Sports Performance gets it over, now set up by No. Dug by Monson in the back row. And here's Landfair again. McKissock all over the court early. There's a big time kill, another point, 3-point lead. OVA TBVA in our first time out of the match.
And even though Landfair is one of the tallest players on this court, that girl on the left-hand side, she's not reading the block well. So look at the swing that Jenkins has against her. It's not on the shoulder because she's left-handed. A lot of players can't adjust to that very well, but really good swing by Jenkins.
Head coach Cheryl Butler leads Mizuno Sports Performance, and she is just a tremendous head coach. What I love about her, Aaron, you can tell, never loses her cool, very calm, communicates with her players, and her players, when she says something, they follow what she says.
Yeah, I think she has that mindset that most collegiate and Olympic coaches have, where they say, okay, we have trained every situation in practice. It's your time when the game comes to do what we've practiced. And I think that she really gives her players that freedom to go out and play.
3 straight points now for OVA TBVA and make it 4.
And it's the serving. This tough, at the back line, going for it serving has really been the difference. Sports Performance hasn't had a lot of good passes. So they're playing out a system a lot, and that's giving the opportunity for OVA TBVA to swing on the balls that they want.
Gunter sets it up perfectly. Hitting right through the block was Conley. Now from the left side, took a little bit off it. Kaylee Cruz, first kill for her.
And I want to talk a little bit about Emily Knoll. Look at how she sets that ball off the net to give her player room against a big block like that. That allows her to see what the block is doing, where they're setting up, where they have the weakness in their hands.
11-6 now. That lead continuing to build. Dug nicely by McKissock. Touched over by Jenkins. Now another chance. Here's Cruz again. Up against the net. They tap it over. Landfair wants it. Little out of position. Staying at home was No. Another kill by Cruz.
And just great rally, great defense, and toughness. I like that they're playing that rotation defense to have McKissock in the back row on that line. But you can see that block's floating inside because the outside hitter has taken all of those cross-court shots. The block is instinctively going on the inside and leaving it open for the line.
Let's listen in.
Don't be shy to get that shot. We're going to still play the short game, okay? Let's keep putting pressure on serve. Let's go. Keep it up. Let's go.
That is Carmelo Ilutiza, the head coach of OVA TBVA. And I said that Coach Butler was a little bit calm, a little bit the opposite here. He's a fiery head coach, and his young ladies respond to him.
Yeah, and they kind of feed off of his emotion, and he's very positive. It's never a negative emotion to bring him down. It's always really encouraging and helps get them fired up.
12-6. Team from the Southeast has doubled up Mizuno Sports Performance. Finally, that breaks the string. And Mizuno Sports Performance, Aaron, they just needed a point there.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed to break that serve and get them out of that rotation. That seems to be the toughest one for them to defend.
And now it's 2 in a row as the ball goes right off the hands of Kaylee Cruz. Well, you said, Aaron, at the start of this game how the OVA TBVA team so creative because these girls have a chance to play more on the beach, and you can really see that happening here in this first set. The defense from OVA TBVA has just been awesome.
Yeah, it just creates this scrappy mentality where nothing hits the ground because that's what sand is. It's two of you on the court. It's the same ball, same net, but you have to be a lot more creative.
Another kill. OVA TBVA.
And I love that they're sticking to this right side attack. I think it makes so much sense. It's harder for middle blockers to transition that way. It's not their dominant foot. They're a little bit slower, so they're not getting to the seam as fast. I think that it's a really smart play to keep going.
Riley Nowicki serving. As this ball's going to be hit just long. That'll be another point for OVA TBVA, a team that has combined just recently, a few years ago, Aaron. When you take some of the best athletes from Tampa and Orlando and put them together, it makes for quite a club.
It does, and it's so interesting to see the dynamic of where the girls are coming from. Even if they're playing on an Orlando team, they might be driving over from Tampa. I think that just shows that this club is really taking the time to put the chemistry together, because in this sport, that's what it's all about. You have to have good chemistry, good communication, so it's given them more opportunity to create these great teams.
How about that dig? Right there to put it away, Lauren Gibbs. But for a 14-year-old, this had some serious mustard on it.
And that is not a shot you want to leave open, especially when it's been killing you this whole match. One-on-one, nothing down the line, and that's the shot that she wants.
8 kills now for OVA TBVA. Point for Mizuno Elite, trying to just stay in this match.
And really, Sports Performance Elite hasn't had any opportunity to get their offense going. So even though they've had a few swings and they've scored 10 points, nothing has been in system. They haven't gotten that light bulb, the click to go off to get this match going, to get the momentum back in their favor. And this is definitely a critical point that they needed to get that momentum to change.
Kill by Jenkins goes long. And now we play on. 15-11. And now Mizuno Sports Performance taking advantage of some OVA TBVA errors. Coach Carmelo Ilutiza, you saw him. He does not want to have to call a timeout. Let's see if this team can fight through this. Douglas blocked at the net.
And again, when you have that big block in front of you, you're out of system. You know that both blockers are going to get there. You have to be a little bit smarter. It has to be a defensive shot.
Put your hand on her. You get right there on her, okay? That way the middle can block it. Who's ever down the line, you got to be ready to dig, okay? Remember rotation defense that they're playing? So if we're going to tip it, it's got to go tip middle of the court, or you got to tip over to left front. You can't tip straight over the block. Okay, let's go.
So when she talks about the rotation defense, essentially what that means is that the setter, who is normally a person that breaks to go get the second ball, they're actually keeping her on the 10-foot line. Makes it so she doesn't have to sprint across the court. What they'll do is they'll switch that middle back over down the line and leave the 6th zone or the middle of the court wide open. So coach is saying if you're going to tip it, go over into the middle, not down the line where the setter is going to be playing defense.
15-13, Mizuno Sports Performance. This is the closest they've been in a while, and Sierra Jenkins comes out swinging from the timeout.
And I love to see setters that have the ability to change the mentality of what they're doing. So she runs the offense in 3 plays, and then she comes out and has been unstoppable on the offensive side of the ball. It's just great court awareness, and she's looking exactly what the opponent's doing.
4th kill for Jenkins. Now Landfair takes a swing, and this one just about a foot long.
And really where you can see that Olympic mindset is in plays like that, when Sports Performance Elite is out of system and they use that pick or the red or the middle back attack on the front row. That's something that they're trained to do, especially at the Olympic level.
Jenkins taps it up. Now it's Gunter. Just like that, the lead extended to 4. Mizuno Sports Performance, this is a key stretch for them right here, right now. Another kill for OVA TBVA, and that time it's Audrey Douglas.
And we haven't seen much middle activation at all, but it's because the outside pin players have done such a good job. But look at this double block. Sees that it's coming. They take the bait with her shoulders facing that way, and she swings the other way.
Miss it that time, as Kate Long could not square it up, and it's 19-13. I'd say that was an effective timeout, 4 straight points. Defense scrambling a bit now for Sports Performance. Right side, tough dig there. Second try by Douglas, she capitalizes.
And I'm just surprised that Sports Performance Elite hasn't had an answer for that attack. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going back to that right-hand side. The block is not setting up appropriately for it. And it's just really just beating this team down.
A serve for OVA TBVA. You're watching some of the most talented 14-year-old volleyball players in the country. AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships. Drew Felios, Aaron Campbell, and an entertaining match here to start. There's Kate Long.
And that's what this team can do when they're in system. When they get the good pass and the perfect play, they run those out-of-system plays. They have the 32 in with the 2. They can really mix it up, but because the pass hasn't been there, they haven't really been able to do that other than that point.
Too strong that time for Monson to try and dig it. And now OVA TBVA just 3 points away from claiming this first set. Lillian Gunter will serve. She has played fantastic in the first frame. Landfair, they go away from her, go to the right side instead, and the defense continues to shine.
And I always tell players that you don't have to be a tall blocker, you have to be a disciplined blocker. And that is the perfect example why. Big attacker on the other side, just go up and put your hands over the net, keep them nice and strong, and good things happen.
Ball was a lame duck that time, and the front line for OVA TBVA was waiting for it, and now it's set point. An impressive first set for OVA TBVA. They try and finish it off here. Landfair, she's blocked. Nice dig that time. Landfair's gonna get it over. Gunner gets the offense going. Douglas finishes it. And just like that, OVA TBVA, after the timeout, they score 9 of the next 10 points. Set, taken care of just like that.
And just such a good job by this OVA TBVA team. I love the 3 set. I love that they took the bait. Perfect shot cross court.
The ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida has emerged as the pinnacle of youth tournament travel, catering to the needs of the entire family. We offer a complete line of solution-oriented products and services to address the complex needs of teams on the road and the team parents who support them. To find out how to achieve vacation victory, visit ESPNWWOS.com. The ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex is one of the most exciting youth baseball complexes in America, where players of all ages compete against both national and international rivals. Athletes can hone their skills year-round through open registration tournaments and spring training programs for high school and college teams on major league quality fields while creating memories that last a lifetime. To find out how your team can play here, visit DisneyBaseball.com.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. The 400 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti. OVA TBVA up a set here at the 43rd AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships. 14 open. Title is on the line. Sierra Jenkins, number 4, very active for OVA TBVA.
And I love to see the activity against one of the biggest blockers on the court in Landfair. She just goes up there fearlessly, picks her shots wisely, knows when to unload, and knows when to make a defensive swing when she's out of system. Did a great job on that right side, got a bunch of kills, and then she offered a lot on the back line as well.
You know, you watch a player get up and spike the ball, Aaron, you think it's power, but it's so much more to being a great killer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's finesse, it's power, it's height, extension, fundamentals. I mean, there's a lot going on. She's not just jumping up there and throwing her arm at it. So she's doing a really good job of reading where the block is, reading where the defense is, and attacking accordingly.
Meanwhile, you saw Taylor Landfair there. Elizabeth McKissock has been huge. She's on a roll right now defensively, but back to Landfair for Mizuno Sports Performance. Tallest player on the court. What can she do differently to try and take over this match?
Well, it's not just her, it's her team too. They haven't been passing as well as they should to run in-system plays. So that's actually one thing I wrote in that they need to transition into in this second set is passing the ball better. They need to get those 2 digs or those 3 digs, give their setter more options, and that'll give some more options to Taylor Landfair as well.
First shot by Gunner goes down. Major momentum on the side now for the team from the Southeast. Mizuno Sports Performance, on the other hand, trying to get it together here in set number 2, or else this could be a very quick match. It's 1-1 now.
And I'm surprised that Sports Performance Elite keeps going down that line when you have McKissock, who is probably one of the better hustling liberos in this tournament on that line. So if they want to get kills, they have to go into the 6 seam, which is in the middle of the court, just where she attacked right there. That's the 6 seam. They really need to start attacking that for Sports Performance Elite.
They go right in the middle of the court. Sydney Conley. OVA TBVA has so many different weapons, and it just looks like these girls have been playing together a long time. The communication has just been flawless so far. Landfair can't kill it. Kaylee Cruz comes back now. Try and set up Landfair again, and that's unstoppable.
And when she has the opportunity to unload, she's so good. But even on that swing, she didn't get a full approach. It was too far off the net. She wants it nice and tight so she can go up there and just crunch with her core and her shoulder on that ball.
She really squares it up. She's tough to deal with. Lauren Kipps, bad pass to her that time. And another point for Sports Performance Elite. Tipped out. So point blue that time. Lillian Gunter now will hand the ball off. Take a look at Carmelo Ilutiza. He, along with Joshua John Hebron, coaching this OVA TBVA team. Landfair, another big swing, and another point.
And because she has that really high extension, even though the block is there and disciplined, she's actually hitting the tops of the fingers more so than the palms of the hands on the block. So she's going to get a lot of those off the ball touches, things like that are going to score points for her team.
Too much on that serve. Gunter can't dig it, and it's an ace for Mizuno Sports Performance.
And this is the first time we've actually seen this OVA TBVA team be challenged on the serve-receive game because they were in such control of the ball in the first set. This is the first time we've seen them actually have to pass the ball. And Sports Performance Elite is doing a nice job of putting pressure on them.
5-3 now, and some changes. Riley Nowicki comes to the game for OVA TBVA. Festive atmosphere here inside the HP Fieldhouse. See the fans packing the stands. Most of them players who come in to watch the game on center court. As Landfair pounds another one, you just get the sense, Aaron, she's starting to find a groove. And
watch this arm swing. She almost like cocks her arm back to get it, to get the energy, to get the power to it, and just unloads on the ball.
Mizuno Sports Performance, they've got the momentum right now. It's 7-4. Cheryl Butler's team starting to really gain their footing. Jenkins able to score.
And when you have two teams that are neck and neck, that are close really in athleticism, their styles are different, but they're both really competitive teams. It's plays like that you have to convert. That's going to be the difference.
7-5. Dug by Monson. They attack left side, and that's a beauty.
And really smart shot. The middle back or the middle front attacker actually served the ball on that play. The libero hadn't come in for it yet. And a lot of times middles aren't the best defenders. Great body position, just wasn't able to read it through the block.
Tapped up by Jenkins, right in that sweet spot. So OVA TBVA, this 14-year-old team, they've really put on a show. Question is, can they maintain the level of play with Mizuno Sports Performance trying for their best run here? In these best 2 of 3 matches, Aaron, cannot afford to really come out slow or to hit a lull because they can be over quickly, can't they?
Absolutely. And fighting back from a 2-point deficit in a match this competitive is a tough thing to do. So you have to stay right there. You can't give anything away.
It does kind of make each point of these championship matches that much more intense, doesn't it? When you know that playing best 2 of 3.
Absolutely. The games go by so fast, especially with rally scoring now being the norm. They're over in a flash.
Jenkins with the serve. Dug nicely by Mizuno Sports Performance. Team from Florida coming back. And that one's going to go down. Point by Sydney Conley. First time we've called her name in a while.
And what a pancake. I love watching that. Great swing on the right side, gets a little bit of touch. Look at that discipline, just timing it perfectly. That's a tough thing to do. Great dig.
9-8. Now it's 10-8. Maddie Myers. Myers gets the kill, now goes out of the game for Mizuno Sports Performance as Alexis Rodriguez heads back to serve. 4 games we're bringing you today on ESPN3. Drew Felios, Aaron Campbell, and our entire crew. We've got a great one on hand here from the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Big time block at the net right there. We've seen that all morning long.
Douglas and Connolly, they have the footwork down. Watch as they connect. Timing is almost perfect. They have their hands down at the same time. They jump at the same time. Again, that's that chemistry we talked about. Perfect block, discipline, and setup.
Now from the left side, this one looked like got the tip that time, so Mizuno Sports Performance will be awarded the point.
And Kate Long looks like that player that's really intelligent, student of the game, studies what the defense is doing. She just hasn't had as many opportunities to swing on the ball as they probably, as sports performance elite would like her to have had.
Kaylee Cruz didn't have the angle, hit it wide. It's another unforced error and a point for sports performance. Coach Lutiza a little bit concerned. But the one thing about OVA TBVA, they have not let Mizuno Sports Performance go on that monster run they've been looking for. McKissock. That jump serve is an ace.
And that spot down the line. So as you're looking at the server, if they're coming right at you, you don't have as much time to make any adjustments to the ball, especially when it has the velocity that McKissock puts on the ball. It's a tough play to make.
A lot of spin as well. The joust is won by OVA TBVA. What happened there, Aaron?
Looks like they either called her a lift or a back row attack. I didn't see the signal, but she might have blocked the ball if she's in the back row. She's a back row setter.
McKissock, another dandy. She is pumped up. Coach Butler wants a timeout. She knows she cannot let OVA TBVA pull away here.
I know it's coming to you, but you need to play with each other so we're all on the same page with it, okay? One good passing from Melissa. Make sure you push hard, okay? Got it? Let's go.
So it's a very keep it simple mentality, and I like that. It's, hey, we have the options, we have the offense to do this. The only thing we have to do differently is get a good pass. It's as simple as that. And I love that she points that out. Hey, the energy's not there, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the energy's there or not. We need to get the fundamentals first.
3 points in a row for OVA TBVA. McKissock trying to make it 4. Last set, it was Emily No, the big server. Now Elizabeth McKissock is a killer for OVA TBVA.
And as a coach, could you want anything more from your libero? Someone that just hustles everywhere, never lets the ball hit the floor, and just goes back there fearless on the serving line. I mean, that's the epitome of what a good libero does.
How about Landfair? They've been able to tee her up nicely here in set number 2.
She's 14. She's 14 and just took that swing. I'm like, oh my gosh, can you imagine when this girl gets a little bit more physicality to her? It's going to be unbelievable. I mean, she's swinging great already.
Here she is again. Landfair, another point. Taylor Landfair really taking over this match, but will it be enough for Mizuno Sports Performance?
And making good adjustments. Look at that set. She's not all the way to the ball, but what she does well is she recognizes that her shoulder isn't what's going to get there. She has to get her hand placement down. Makes a really good mid-air adjustment.
Right now our focus is try to pass the ball in order for us to get a quick side out to send her back, okay? But we have to try to keep working the league. Focus. They're cheering loud. We're going to chop them out. We're going to focus in our technique. Let's keep our tempo of the game. We're doing great, okay? Just a calm down timeout. Let's go.
Coach Ilotisi trying to make that one simple adjustment. He's done a tremendous coaching job getting his team to this point.
And I like that he approaches it as, hey, you guys aren't doing anything wrong. You just need to calm down just a bit. Just it's a calm down timeout. That's all we need. Change momentum a little bit.
Set up by Jenkins. McKissock taps it over. Now they go with the hot hand. Landfair has been that for Mizuno Sports Performance. Tremendous defense now by both teams. Landfair blocked at the net. McKissock, great dig. And the touch, illegal hit for OVA TBVA is a point for Sports Performance.
And just great discipline. I love that the setter had that much confidence in herself to just go up there and swing on the ball. They run a 5-1, so that is permitted, and just unloads on it. Really good choice there.
15-14. Who wants it more? Back to a 2-point game. All these players are talented. But there is that point in the match where things get dicey. And it's always great to see, Aaron, which players in that moment are going to handle the pressure, step up their game, and lead their teams.
And these tournaments are such great teachable moments because there are going to be times when that happens where you have to question yourself, okay, what do I need to do here? And they're so teachable because you get either instant reward or the other team does. So it really helps build these players, the more experience they have in environments like this, to be better players overall.
Seeing it throughout the match with Coach Butler's team as well as Coach Ilutiza. You got to make adjustments because the team on the other side of the net is a lot of times just as talented or even more talented than you. Both teams have done that well here. Blocked at the net. TBVA, OVA with Audrey Douglas gets it done.
And I'm surprised that Sports Performance Elite doesn't run behind the setter when the setter's in the front row. So they're keeping the middle blocker in front, and that's making it a lot easier for the middle blocker on the opponent's side to stay with her. And blocks like that are going to happen. They have to try to move her around just a little bit and cause some break in system on this blocking team.
Lauren Gibbs on that last point. But Mizuno Sports Performance with the answer. Maddie Myers. 17-16, just a 1-point set right now. Sports Performance Elite trying to force a third and decisive set. Great atmosphere inside the HP Fieldhouse. Jenkins hit the line.
And quiet in this second set, but not because they haven't set her, or not because she's done anything wrong. What this OVA TBVA team has done is really spread that offense out, but it's the shot she wants. It's the late pin player. They're doing a swing block. They're not getting in front of her in the right time. She loves that line shot. It's the natural shot for a lefty.
Now from the right, another point. Maddie Myers once again. Myers has gotten going for Sports Performance Elite. Taylor Landfair, though, has been the top player in this set. McKissock with the dig. They set up Rath. And they made Landfair dig it that time, and it didn't look like that was something she was very comfortable doing.
No, I think she was still in motion to read where the attacker was going to swing on the ball, so she didn't have her feet set, and therefore didn't have her arm set, and just shanked right off that left hand.
Sierra Jenkins, now without southpaw serve. Myers, she's got it working now.
And the good thing is that when you have Landfair go in the back row, you really have Myers' shoulder to rely on, and she's done a great job on that right side. When she gets the sets, she's pretty much had a kill every time she's attacked the ball. Attacks smart on the court, finds the seams in the defense.
Alexis Rodriguez into the game to serve. They need a rally here. 19-18. Who's going to be the first to 20? It's OVA TBVA.
And it's just amazing how both of these teams have so many different weapons to utilize. If their star attacker goes in the back row, they have another shoulder to rely on. That's a great shot. That's a great shot. The block isn't set up perfectly on the ball where it needs to be, and there's that huge seam between the middle and the right back defender.
Coach Ilutiza has made the correct adjustments all match long. Let's listen in here. Meanwhile, Coach Cheryl Butler, it's been a great match between two outstanding head coaches. It's been fun, too, listening in. Our crew miking up both coaches, and it's so interesting to hear what they have to say during the timeouts.
Yeah, and a lot of it is kind of the same thing, you know, go back to the fundamentals, do this, do that, but it's how it's presented, and that's when you really get an insight on the relationship between the coach and the players, how they talk to them, the relationships they have, how close they are. It's really interesting to see.
2018, nip and tuck. Back to a 1-point set. Always love to see, too, how these great programs stick with the game plan, or when does that game plan change when you know you may have to switch to something else. That is an untimely service error right there, because it gives OVA TBVA a 2-point lead. From the right side, that kill is down by Linnea Dale, and that's her first kill of the match.
And great swing, great option to go to that right side. I like to see that Sports Performance Elite is doing the same thing, and I like that shot. It was very sharp cross court, very, very risky.
Already, Sports Performance Elite has doubled the amount of kills that they had in the last set, nearly. They have 11 kills right now, Aaron. Last set, only 6. So it's been a world of difference.
Really has, and I think their passing game changed the most. That was the biggest difference in that first set.
Well, will it be enough? 22-20. They need a defensive stop right here, and then a kill of their own. Landfair trying to get the block. They can't return it. 23-20.
And because Jenkins has been so effective on the right side, the block almost looked surprised that they got a touch on it. And it just came down right in front of them. They didn't have the same discipline that they have on every other swing.
McKissock has been money for OVA, TBVA. Landfair blocked at the net. It is match point.
So look at the left hand of number 9, Gibbs. Watch that left hand as it comes over. Do you see how far over that hand is pressed? Her forearms are over the net. That is the perfect outside hand blocking technique.
Sports Performance trying to extend this match. It's not going to happen. OVA, TBVA, 14 Open champions. They rolled through the first set. In the second set, much more difficult to put away Mizuno Sports Performance, but they took their best punches, and eventually they get it done once again. Wow, impressive from start to finish.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing that they came into this match with the mentality of serving tough. Because it is such a big team, they were just absolutely fearless on that serving line, attacking players that might not be in the service line otherwise, and just going for it. And I think that because of that, Sports Performance didn't really have the passing and the offense that they needed to get going.
Wow, OVA, TBVA, we saw them make adjustments, and a much smaller team. If you came out in warm-ups and looked at both teams passing the eye test, was Sports Performance, but the team from Florida, Aaron, as you said at the very start, much more creative and a little bit better as a team.
Yeah, and they were just really scrappy on defense. Nothing would hit the floor. There'd be 2 or 3 people going after the ball that's off the court somewhere. And it's that kind of relentless pursuit of the ball that kept them in those longer rallies. And they actually won a lot of those longer rallies because of their scrappiness.
Busy day of volleyball coming up at you on ESPN3. Let's take a look at the slate for the rest of the day. Coming up next, 1:30, we got the 12 Open Championship, followed by the 13 Open title game at 3:30, and then a couple hours after that, the 15 Open Championship. 4 games total, and of course you can watch them on demand on ESPN3 and the Watch ESPN app. Well, 1 game and 1 match in the books. 2-0, the final, OVA TBVA, 14 Open champions. For Aaron Campbell and our entire ESPN Wide World of Sports crew, I'm Drew Felios, saying so long from the Walt Disney World Resort.